Yeah, that's really nice how you put things. So maybe you can say a few words on, like we were talking earlier about...
So you were saying, exactly. You were saying about the experiences. So my point is that, for me to come from a completely different culture, every experience has been and still is a kind of a wonder. Because it is still a kind of for me, every experience is still an extra addition to the understanding of this culture. And you can imagine, coming from something completely different and being accepted and being part of this it's a wonder. And especially in these days, we are living in such a kind of materialistic world, and you get so far removed from yourself. And then for me, then to have this grace of being able to live in the world where the whole point is to try to find yourself, to find life. So I'm very, very grateful. And all the experiences along the line has taken me, every experience. This is another thing too, the Naga Babas, that I'm part of this tradition because of my guru. My guru was a Naga Baba. So then automatically I also become a Naga. But there's a saying, that there's the Nagas and then there's the Swamis. The Swamis are more the kind of intellectual, the more learned Babas, they're the Swamis. And there's a funny saying that the Swamis, they say about these Naga Babas, they don't know anything. And then because they don't learn it from the intellect. And the Naga Babas, they say about the Swamis, so they don't know it because they only know it from the intellect. But while we, the Nagas, we know it from the experience. And this is, I think, that sometimes I'm wondering why are these people my Guru brothers? And then I understand, it is because the Naga Babas, it is the experience of it. And I'm not particularly intellectual, I taught me to be very, very intuitive. Their experience is an intuitive experience and not an intellectual experience. So that has become my path too, because I'm more of a kind of intuitive person than an intellectual person. Because in a sense, I really don't fit in with them. Because they are Naga Babas and I'm a woman and I'm a Western woman too.
Right.
It's a very traditional and orthodox way of life. So I had to adopt very, very, very strongly to their ways in order to be part of them and in order not to disturb. And also it's not really an order for women. It's like, in the Roman times there was this places called gymnasiums where those days the young men were sent to get mentally and physically fit. And this is in a way what Akaras are, young men that come there to be mentally and physically fit. And I mean, so it's not really the place for me. But because of my guru, I also became part of this tradition. But I understand, in the beginning I couldn't understand really why, but I understand this because of the intuitive way of understanding truth.
You couldn't understand the way that they understood truth, or you couldn't understand what, why it really wasn't open for women?
Why?
Well, why it really wasn't open for women?
No, it is not. It's open for women. The truth is open for women. But this particular way is a male. It's not for women. It's a warrior class, It's they are warriors. So it's not really for women. Women in India, women is a symbol of the mother, A mother is something that embraces her children, The Nagas, they are the protectors of the Dharma, the protectors of the tradition.
And what about the sadhvis that I see, the small little sect within the sect of Nagas in Junakara?
Yeah, there are sadhvis in the Junakara too, but I tell you that if I'd been an Indian woman, I doubt that I would have been a sadhvi in the Junakara. Really. And most of the sadhvis in the Junakara, I mean, they're very fine women, very sort of simple women, most of them, and they are there as more as servants. They're serving the gurus in the name of serving God, and that's very fine. But they are a little bit. If I were an Indian woman, I would go to a female ashram, a female akara, female place, where women, Indian women especially too, they sort of belong together. Men belong together. So there am I, kind of an odd one out.
And tell us, we were talking earlier about, I was saying about how some of my preconceptions about India from things I had read before coming over here really didn't hold water when I came here. Maybe you can speak a few words of advice or a few thoughts about for Westerners coming over here for the first time or something. How they may want to look at things, or how they may want to open their mind, or how they may want to not hold on to ideas that they've read versus the things that they'll actually see in reality here. Maybe you can comment on that.
Yeah, it's very difficult now. This is now 35 years since I came here first, since I first was introduced to this way of life. India and the world in general was very, very different 35 years ago. And now, if I had come now, been young now, I doubt that I would have been able to get into this world in the way that I have done, in the sense that the teachings, the teachings is just the same as it's always, but it's become very diluted. It's become very mixed up, 35 years ago, India was not part of this global thing at all, and you couldn't buy anything. All this material, the material world, and our technology has made this teaching very different. And these days, most of the teaching is given in everything has become so instant in these days. You just press a button and you get what you want. And also this teaching has become modified to that kind of standard a lot. So it's very, very difficult to find the true teaching. Very difficult.
How do you think it's been modified?
By making it sort of instant. It's a long, hard journey. It's a long, hard journey for everybody. It's not to learn anything kind of intellectually, It's to purify yourself in order to see truth. There is two kind of truths. There's something called absolute truth, which is truth, and then there's relative truth, which is a kind of related to something. But in order to see the absolute truth, which is one can say is God, which is you have to that truth is truth, and truth is pure. There is no flaws in truth. And in order to see that truth, you have also to become that pure and that truthful in order to meet that truth. So this whole path is how you see it at the Kumbh Mela and how you read a bit about it in the books and so on is one thing. But to really to do it, to purify yourself to that degree that you can become that pure, it's a very, 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 very tough journey. And I think it has become very more difficult these times with so much material impact and so much technology around us.